Israel's Smasher, the M270 series multiple rocket launcher system. Israel has a tendency to rename American weapon systems, and this is one case in which the new name is much cooler than the old one. The Smasher rocket launcher is actually the American M270 MRLS. A mainstay of the U.S. Army's artillery branch, the M270 was developed in the 1970s as part of the Big Five of weapon systems that would transform the Army. Based on a modified M2 Bradley chassis, the Smasher carries 12 227mm rockets. A 3-vehicle battery can send 23,184 cluster munitions downrange in 1 minute, saturating at 1 km by 1 km area. Israel has 48 Smasher systems. Currently Israel is limited to rockets with a 40-km range, but new 150-km range rockets are in the pipeline. Such rockets will give Israeli artillery, positioned in Haifa, the ability to strike Damascus. The M270 multiple launch rocket system development. In late 1975, the U.S. Army's Aviation and Missile Command Division, AMCOM, made proposals for a rocket support system to work with traditional cannon artillery, and in mid-1976 the project for the General Support Rocket System, GSRS, was created on a temporary basis. In 1977 the U.S. Secretary of Defense authorized the Army to proceed with the development of the GSRS, and in the same year several arms manufacturers were invited to produce prototypes and the project was given a permanent status. Up to 1979 the Vought Corporation had been testing and firing rocket munitions from a new 6-pack launching pod, and Germany, France, and the United Kingdom also signed up for a joint development and production of the GSRS, where it was redesignated. The MLRS, and production began in 1980. It entered service in the US in 1983 and with production in Europe by a consortium of companies in NATO countries, including Great Britain. It is now in service with over 15 countries across the world, with over 1,300 built. The MLRS chassis is a longer version of the M2 Bradley IFVs. It is powered by a 400 horsepower Cummins diesel engine, providing a top road speed of 40 miles per hour and an operational range of 300 miles. It is manned by a 3-man crew, the driver, gunner and section chief, who are protected in the cab by aluminium armor. Weighing in at just over 24 tons, with its length almost at 7 meters, width at almost 3 meters and height over 2.5 meters, the MLRS is transportable by Air Force C-5 and C-17 aircrafts. The M270 multiple launch rocket system firepower. One of the main qualities of this vehicle is the variation of munitions that it can fire. The launcher carries 2 pods, each of which carries 6 rockets. There are roughly over 10 variations of rockets used by the MLRS, including ones developed in Europe. The most common rocket is the US M26 unguided surface-to-surface rocket. It carries 644 M77 dual-purpose improved conventional munitions, DPICM. The warhead bursts open, at an optimum altitude and distance from the target, realizing both anti-armor and anti-personnel sub-munitions which can destroy 1 square km of soft-skinned vehicles and personnel up to ranges of 23 kilometers. Over 700,000 rockets have been manufactured for the MLRS. The MLRS is also able to fire 2 of the guided Lockheed Martin Army Tactical Missile System, ATACMS, and its variants. The Block 1 variant carries 950 baseball-sized M74 sub-munitions to ranges exceeding 165 kilometers. The Block 1A has an extended range of over 300 kilometers. The number of sub-munitions was reduced to 275 M74s and a GPS guidance system was added. The MLRS uses a computerized fire control system. It receives a transmission form, the command post of the selected target data, and firing can be carried out either manually or automatically. It is able to fire all 12 rockets or 2 ATACMS within 1 minute. These can be fired individually or in ripples of 2 to 12. The 2 pods are loaded into the launcher by the 2 booms that extend outwards from the launcher. Once above the pods they are lifted via winches off the ground, and the booms then retract back into the launcher with both pods, which can be done within 4 minutes. One MLRS firing all 12 rockets can blanket a target area, and cause more damage than 3 regiments of 155mm artillery guns, howitzers, such as the M109 Paladin. It made its debut onto the battlefield in the Gulf War and was the first ground vehicle to fire. Iraqi soldiers gave it the nickname, Steel Rain, after being on the receiving end of the 10,000 rockets and 32 ATACMS fired in the Gulf War. It has seen further action including the 2003 invasion of Iraq where it is still deployed with the British Army. The M270 Multiple Launch Rocket System upgrades. The M270 Multiple Launch Rocket System finished production ended in 2003 after its finial batch was delivered to the Egyptian Army. A number have been upgraded by Lockheed Martin since 2000 to the M270A1. The ILMS has also reduced the reload time from 4 to 3 minutes, and the system is due to be installed on the British Army's MLRS. The A1 has an improved fire control system and an improved launcher mechanical systems, ILMS, which reduces the time to aim the launcher from 93 seconds to 16 seconds. Further developments are also being made to a number of munitions for the MLRS, which will allow it to destroy armed vehicles and will be effectively taking on the same role of MBTs. Egypt, 48. Bahrain, 9. Finland, 34 designated 298 Rs Rak H, Roskas Raketen Heighten. France, 44. Germany, 50 designated Mars, Mittelras Artillery Raketen System. Greece, 36. Israel, 48 designated, Monadits, Smasher. Italy, 22. Japan, 99 built under license. Netherlands, no longer in service since 2004, sold to Finland. Norway, 12 in storage. Denmark, no longer in service, sold to Finland. South Korea, 58. Turkey, 12. United Kingdom, 42. United States, 840. Saudi Arabia, 250. The M270 Multiple Launch Rocket System British Army Service. The British Army has 2 regiments equipped with the MLRS, 1 regular and 1 territorial. The regular regiment operates 18 launcher vehicles and the TA regiment 12 in peace and 18 in war. In 2007, gunners and their MLRSs from the 39th Regiment Royal Artillery, the Welsh Gunners, based in Newcastle, were deployed in the Helmand province of southern Afghanistan. During theater they have fired the new GMLRS, XM30 rocket with its 200 pounds high explosive warhead, which has been developed by the UK, other European countries and the US. It has a range of over 70 kilometers and earned the nickname, 70 km Sniper, because of its high accuracy, thanks to the rocket's onboard GPS system.